I went through a couple websites today and I was looking through and I was just curious, what states have the cheapest rates and how much are they? Well, let's go through the bottom 5 and then we'll go through the top 5 and maybe I can shed some light. Some of them I'll know, some of them I won't. I'm actually doing this live, so we're kind of figuring this out together. So according to insurance.com, Maine is the cheapest state for insurance. If you're going to do full coverage in Maine, you are only going to pay $1,062 per year for insurance. That's pretty cheap. That's less than $100 a month for full coverage. Now keep in mind there are areas that are riskier than others. So depending on your location, you may be paying $150 or $200 a month in that state, but the most common or the average is less than $100 a month. Now without full coverage, you're talking $355 total. That is dirt cheap. Let me make sure these are yearly policies. This is no way. Yeah, this is a 12-month policy, $89 a month for full coverage in Maine. New Hampshire, which actually my company insures that state. Ooh, we should advertise some more. It's also $1,070, so really close to $89 a month for full coverage in that state. And then Virginia is about not quite $1,200 a year, so it's roughly about $100 a month to have full coverage in that state. That is cheap. Ohio is next. I didn't realize Ohio was so cheap. They're about $1,200, although I think it's gone up a little bit since these reports have done. This is like a 2019 report that I'm looking at. Yeah, without full coverage, less than $1,000, and then Idaho was 5th. For not doing full coverage, it says Wyoming, South Dakota, and Iowa are the cheapest. You can get as low as $27 a month for car insurance, which sounds like a commercial. You see those on Facebook all over. Pay $27 a month. If you're paying more than $50, you're paying too much. One, I don't know companies that want only that type of business because there's no way they're going to make profit enough to get that. Sure, these type of people don't have claims, but imagine you'd have to have like 1,000 people to cover one claim. That's ridiculous. So the top 5, the most expensive, and this is something I'm questioning because it says Michigan is the most expensive, although AAA, who I love you guys, just came out with a report and said they were like the 4th most expensive. So I think that they're wrong. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I think Michigan is the most expensive state, period. The next one is Louisiana, and I think the reason being is not because their initial prices are that expensive, although they're not cheap. They are expensive because if you have a claim in Louisiana, your price can double. It's crazy. I don't understand how they calculate that state, but that's just the way it is. Nevada, I don't do a whole lot of Nevada. They're saying, prices, by the way, sorry. The average for full coverage is $3,500 a year in Michigan. I think it's closer to $3,200. That's my home state. So pretty close. That's with full coverage. Without full coverage is about $2,000, so almost $150, $160 a month for just POPD. That's ridiculous. Nevada is $2,486. Then Kentucky and Washington, D.C., those are also about $200 a month. That's if you're going to do full coverage. Versus their minimum coverages, now they're getting down to $600-$700 a year for the more expensive states. Now keep in mind with these states, these online things, they're fun to do, they're fun to look at, just answering some general questions. We don't know what the bodily injury limits are, so I'm assuming they're doing 50 and 100. That's the most common, 50,000 per person, 100,000 per accident. It's common online. It's not common to buy, which is really weird. But it's whenever I do these like researches, they're all like, oh yeah, 50, 100, that's our test quote. And we did full coverage with $1,000 deductible. Well, crap, bro. Everyone does 100, 300. That's the most common coverage. And they usually do a $500 deductible. Come on, stop making the numbers fake, right? Let's make this work. Everyone in my agency, I would say 90% of the people in my agency that I work with are even higher than that. They're $250, $500. Full coverage is usually $500 deductible. That's just the common that we use. And then comprehensive might even be lower. So take this with a little bit of a grain of salt because yes, these are the expensive states and the cheap states, but those are based on the coverages that whatever this company chose. Well, Mark, that's great and all, but who's the cheapest company for these guys? Now that is something nobody can answer for you. Although I will tell you the average company that I see on this specific website has put Progressive as one of the most common, and I get it because they're one of the most versatile companies in general. They're not always the best fit, but they are very versatile when it comes to fitting the mold of most people. And then Esurance. I tell people Esurance in a lot of different states. Them and Geico, those companies between Progressive, Esurance, and Geico, those guys are really heavily averaged to fit the mold for most people. So if you're a younger driver, if you're a little bit older driver, maybe you have a ticket, those situations, those tend to be more of a generalized company that is a fit for most people. But when you get more specific, like, oh, I own a home, I need, a $500,000, I need an umbrella for $1 million or $2 million. Now these guys start to kind of fall apart, because not that they don't do it and not that they don't do it well, is they don't have very specific specialized coverages. So they don't have those additional features like 3% cash back. Every 6 months that I don't have a claim, I get 2.5% back in funds. Great job, you're a good driver. Us as a company are insuring a lot better drivers here. We're gonna give you 2.5% back. Oh, you had a claim? Great, accident forgiveness. You're not gonna see that with some of these guys. So there are specialized things with each company, but in general, those are great. If you guys are interested in seeing the top 5 companies, I just did a video on that. So there's top 5 companies for 2020. Otherwise, that kind of coincides with the Progressive one I just did. Oh, I let out of the bag. I did a video based on Progressive being one of the most versatile companies. So I did list them as one of the best companies for 2020, even though I'm not insured through them. A lot of people I work with aren't, because like I said, specialized insurance. Each person is a fit for different companies. That's where working with multiple companies comes into play. That's why I love working at that type of agency where I have 17 different companies or 10 different companies or however many to look at as an option. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked the video. Thumbs up if you thought it was good. Share it with anyone that you think would get good advice out of it. If you want to do a quote below, I'll put a link down there. I will see you in the next one.